guys, welcome to our channel once again. Thank you for joining us. If you're not subscribed, remember to click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe, like and comment on our videos. The more you like our videos, the more YouTube recommends our videos. So we have Marvin the from Ready to Love Season 8, Dallas, Texas. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Marvin.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
So let's just dive into it. I wanted to ask, how was the experience on Ready to Love in general before you left the show?
It was fun. It was there. The schedule was crazy because, of course, we have everyday lives that we have to maintain. So
Mm,
getting the location and not knowing who we were going to see when we arrived, and not knowing pretty much anything until we got to the set or the day before. It was a little stressful, but once I got on set and the filming began, it was just like it was fun.
okay.
Oh,
One thing that has been going to my mind was when when you were introduced on the
Hmm.
first day, I was like, wow, this is surprising because I've watched Ready to Love from season one. I don't think I've ever seen anybody come on the show and say this is what I do, like you do, and you're proud about it on the first day you're saying it. A lot of people might want to hide it, might not want to be very vocal about it because a lot of people will start looking at you with side eye, like, hmm. So what made you think that okay, I'm gonna be vocal, I'm gonna be truthful about this particular thing, even if I know that so many people might not feel comfortable about it.
Well, for me, it's like erotica is such a big part of my world. There's no way I could date someone or get to know someone without them knowing that part of me. So I have to know if they can handle that part of me. So for the easiest thing for me to do to find that out is to put everything on the table. And like I said before, that keeps me from wasting time. Because if someone can't handle it, cool. It was nice to meet you. Good luck on your journey. I'll move on to the next person and see if they can handle it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I want to be accepted and loved for who I am, and that's a part of who I am. So in order for me to be loved for who I am, I have to present who I am.
But
understandable.
did you get a lot of side eye from the ladies or from the guys when everybody knew that that was what you were doing?
Well, some of the ladies, it's the Chris is the crazy part, man. Like the mixer, prime example, first day, we were on set for 12 hours. So you
Oh,
can imagine how many conversations I had and how extensive of the conversations that I had in those 12 hours. But they showed that one little 15-second clip of me saying,
mhm.
I'm an erotic author. I was like, okay, that's all I got in episode one. So when episode two came out, it was kind of the same thing. They only showed a little a segment, and I was talking about erotica, and I'm in my mind, I'm upset because I'm like, wait a minute, I had all these conversations and talked about all my life goals and relationship goals and love goals and stuff like that, and they showed none of it. So I text one of the producers. I'm like, hey, are they gonna show anything else about me other than this? And they told me that they were focusing on the people who were going to be eliminated first, so they pushed me off because I had more episodes. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. So again, episodes three as they continue, it was still BDSM, it was still erotica. So I'm just like, it is what it is at this point. If they choose to not show me talking about anything of further substance other than what I do, then it is what it is, and I'll have to let the people get to know me after the show, you know what I'm saying? Because they
Yeah.
only showed, a limited part of who I am,
Right.
but when I meet people in public or I meet women in public, there's a lot of curiosity, just like it was on the show. They showed me talking about it so much because the ladies asked me about it so much, and
Right.
I was answering questions, just like the hoedown when I was sitting there with Lee and she asked me, what else am I into? If she didn't ask me what else am I into, there's no reason for me to go into what else am I into. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So for me, it was like I felt like I was being interrogated um, over and over and over again because I'm answering the same questions over and over and over again. But I understand the ladies need to make a decision if they can handle it or not. And again, like I said in the beginning, that was part of my process to see if they can handle me. So I'm like, Here's the information. What you gonna do with it? You know?
Right. So Marvin, since you didn't get that opportunity to explain exactly what you want everybody to know about Marvin, take this opportunity to let us know what you want everybody to know about Marvin, because I'm pretty sure it's more to you than meets the eye.
Yeah, I mean, like the conversation I had with the ladies. You know, I was born and raised in a two parent upper middle class home in Detroit. You know, so the things that I want to emulate are the things that I was given. You know, I had an amazing childhood. I had a childhood full of love and creativity and laughter and you know neighborhood friends. I was raised in the village. That saying, it takes a village to raise a child. There were like four other families on the blocks that on my block that I looked at as like secondary and third parents, you know,
Mhm.
um, starting with my childhood best friend, his parents, you know what I'm saying? So the things that I experienced in life, it was almost like one of those Cosby like family environments. I got three sisters, you know. We had family dinner every night. We had family movie nights. My father would rent campers. We would go on vacations and stuff like that, road trips. So the things that I was blessed to have as a kid. Now I understand, you know, not everybody has a childhood like that,
True.
but for me, it's like I want to be able to. I want to recreate what my parents gave me, and I came on the show for an opportunity to try to find someone to recreate that life with, you know, to see if I can find someone that aligns with me, with my life goals again, my marriage goals. Like I told Lee, you know, at the hoedown, I want my next relationship to be my last, you know,
Yeah.
and that was my mission, and that has been my mission.
Mhm.
So when the Ready to Love opportunity came up, I said, hey, why not? You know, why not take a chance and see if something great can come out of it? You know, but little did I know, you know, what I was actually getting myself into. Um, but yeah, it's so much more. I mean,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
I make
I
costumes, and you know, the episode, my date with Katarina,
mhm.
at the little cafe. You know, it was crazy how they chopped and edited and mixed that conversation up, because initially my first thing came out my mouth was how I used to dress up as a Power Ranger as a kid, and then I'm like, that came way later in the conversation when we were talking about our childhoods and how much fun we had as kids, you know. But they didn't show her talking about her childhood. They just showed me blurt out something random, and I'm like, that doesn't even make logical sense for me to just start a conversation like, yeah, I used to dress as a Power Ranger when I was 10. Like, what? So I'm just like, okay, the editing was horrible. But yes, I do make costumes. I have an Etsy store. I make superhero costumes. And they go pretty well. I have a show. And my next show is actually a sexy costume, superhero costume party.
Yeah,
It's
I
called yeah,
seen
it's called
that.
Hero Gasm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's coming
I
up. That's
seen
on my
that. On
celebrating my
October
birthday. So
13th.
yeah, on my birthday. So I'll be presenting a lot of my pieces. I have my costumes on mannequins and things like that. I'll be in costume along with everybody else that's going to attend. So I like to have fun and live and just do the things that I love. You know, erotica is a part of my life, but I like you said, I do so much more. You know, my
Right.
my
So how
father's.
long has it been a part of your life though?
Oh man, I started reading erotica when I was 13,
Okay.
like hardcore, you know. And then
Okay.
so my erotic curiosity has always, it was there at an early age, and then as I got older, it developed, and then my creativity stepped into play later in life, which is how I started writing my own stories, and when I ended up writing my book.
Sorry, someone asked on the comment section that um she said ask him if his women start off willingly to swing, but then you guys start having kids and no longer wanting to do those things. Will he or can he be monogamous?
What was that, Ladon? Hi, Ladon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the things that I do now and the things that I've done since 2008, I do it because I'm young and vigorous and I got a lot of energy. But it was never something I planned on going and doing until I was 80, 90 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's like while I'm young and physically able to do the things that I do, it's like, yeah, we're going to have some fun. But again, when kids come into play and newborns and things like that, it's like, of course, your priorities shift. So
Right.
if my woman, you know, says, hey, I want to chill out, you know what I'm saying, and focus on our children, and obviously I'm gonna focus on my family, because that's my main goal. That's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That's fun. But raising a family and preparing the next generation for success is a priority, and it's what I really want from my life. So if my woman didn't want to continue after that point, then yeah, we can chill and focus on what's most important.
Okay, well, I heard
She
that you could
she said she
sing,
likes
so
the answer and that it's cool.
Pardon
yeah,
me?
I heard you can sing. So can you give us a sample?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got out the gym and I got alcohol in my system, so we're gonna see. Nah, but what was I singing the other day? It's so funny because it's like I sing all the time, and then when someone asks me to sing something, I can never think of what to sing.
First thing that
uh,
comes to your mind.
no, I think I must be dreaming that you are here with me. Must have died and gone to heaven, and it's all that I hoped it would be. When the eagles forget how to fly, and it's 20 below in July, and when violets turn red and roses turn blue, I'll be still in love with you.
Well, yay! That sounds great.
No, that was,
I
yeah.
thought you were pretending over there, but you could sing. You could
You thought I was
sing.
what?
All right, all right, all right. So,
Thank you.
I remember you told Unique that you liked submissive women. So I wanted to know, are you ever submissive?
I talked about this the other day, man. There's only one time that I actually submit, and that's very rare, and it takes a very different kind of woman to be able to make me submit. And it's like a bunch of different factors have to be in the play for that to happen, but it's happened. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. I wanted to ask, which of the ladies or how many ladies were you literally interested in on the show?
Well, at the mixer, I got everybody's number minus one. So those first couple weeks, I was talking to
Who
everybody.
was the minus one?
Pardon me.
Who was the minus one?
Me and Sierra kept missing each other, man. But we talk, we would
Okay.
talk at the mixer, and then we would get pulled off to somewhere else. And by the
Okay.
time everything was over, I was running around getting numbers. She had left, and but uh, we ended up linking up later, and talking, and then we actually had a solo date. They just didn't show it. And it was actually a lot of fun. We made necklaces and bracelets at a craft shop, because she does fashion. I make costumes, so
Yeah.
they figured, so that would be a cool date, and it was a lot of fun. It was creative. But again, they didn't show it. So I think my strongest connections were, initially it was Lee, Unique, and who was the third? I can't remember who the third was. It was Aries, but there was a Aries didn't want any more children, so that kind of messed that up for me. But it was definitely Lee the Unique. And then as weeks progressed and the conversations progressed, um, it shifted. It was always shifting, and people were getting eliminated, and.
Right.
Now
But
that you
again,
mentioned Unique,
pardon me.
okay, go on. You wanted to say something.
Hmm.
I was like, now that you mentioned Unique, what happened? Because I was watching, I felt like she was the only one that was kind of receptive of who you were, what you represent, and you everything about you. She was literally intrigued. She wanted to know more. She wanted to understand where you were coming from. But I
Hmm.
was kind of confused when you guys were the guys lounge on the lounge and you literally were like, okay, you want to see her go home. I was confused, like what happened? How did you get
Um,
to the part that she was intrigued to get to know you to wanting her to go home?
it wasn't that I wanted to see her go home, because I didn't. We definitely had a great connection. Um, and the energy was there, but when Tommy, nephew Tommy told us to focus on our non-negotiables, one of my non-negotiables always has been I want to start my own family. And the process of Ready to Love had me questioning, like, okay, is that something that I'm like, because I have been in a relationship with a woman that had two children before,
Mhm.
and there were things about it that I just don't want to deal with again,
Okay.
dealing with the exes and just things like that, when I could have someone that I don't have to deal with that with,
Yeah.
so
Right.
initially, the show had me thinking like outside the box, like, maybe that's something that I could deal with if the person was right, but then when Tommy hit us with that, what are your non-negotiables, it was like, you know what, I got to stand by what I initially, what I want for myself and what I truly want, and that's to start a family with someone that doesn't have children, uh, and so that's what I ended up doing, is making that decision to, to move forward, without Unique as a connection.
Right. I kind of felt like Lee was kind of interested. I feel like you were um, piquing her curiosity to the things you
Wow.
to get her a little bit afraid, but yet she was curious.
Yeah, a lot of the
I don't know
women
if you
were
felt that.
intrigued, over the phone. They just didn't want to show it on camera, and I understand, because again, a lot of people aren't. Most people aren't open with that side of their lives. I am, because of what I do. I do shows, I do demonstrations, I do classes and lessons and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that is a part of my life that I'm open with. Uh,
Right.
not just my book, so when someone has that conversation over the phone and they're just like, they're asking a million questions and they're like, okay, but then they're on camera, I totally understand the change up, from that. But yeah, there was, and I think also with Lee, um she's a little bit more conservative, and I understand that. And if I am too, if I was too wild, or my life is too wild for it, then hey, again, that was something I needed to find out. Because if I had withheld that part of me, and me and Lee connected, and we fell in love and all this great stuff, and then 6 months later I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a dom. I got this whole other life that I deal with at night at events and parties and demonstrations and this and that. Then
Right.
you can imagine what that would have done to anybody that has
Oh,
has a has a has
absolutely.
a has a ton of bricks dropped on them like that after they've
Yeah.
committed themselves to, so for me it was like, to avoid that, like, I'm gonna see if you can handle this or not. And
Oh, oh,
she it wasn't for her. And again, like I said, if it's not for you, it's not for you, because there's somebody that is for.
yeah. I mean, you were totally transparent in everything that you were saying, which I can respect. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
sometimes you get into a situation and you don't find out for months. And, by then your emotions are involved. So, I can
Hmm.
say I appreciate that out of you.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not a heartbreaker. I don't want to hurt anybody, so I
Oh,
understand, the emotional,
mhm.
collapse that could cause if you're in a relationship with someone and then you find out something like that way later, and it's like, yeah, you'd feel, like you were deceived, like, you withheld this information from me for all this time just to get me, and now you're dropping this bomb, and now that their minds are all, I don't want to do that to anybody. So the easiest thing, and again, I don't want to invest that time in someone knowing that bombshell is there waiting. You know what I'm
Waiting. Yeah.
saying? No, no, I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to waste my time, because my time is extremely valuable to me. Time, you can't get it back. I always say,
Right.
money you
Okay.
can replace, time you can't get back. So I'm going to take the most efficient route to get to the path that I want to get to, and especially in dating, and that is by telling the truth, being transparent, putting everything on the table.
Right. Okay, so being transparent, you did also say, I mean, I don't want to bring everything back, but you did also say you had an ass fetish. You care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, so quick funny story. At the hoedown, right when Lee asked me what else was I into, I literally was like, "Cut! Do y'all really want me to go there?" Talking to the producers, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Well, yeah, she wants to know, what you're into, and so she can make." I was like, "Okay, action." And I got back to the conversation. And I was like, okay, so I have an ass worship fetish. So ass worship is a form of body worship where it's sensual touch, sensual massage, booty rubs, and more involved into it, like oral sex, eating from the back, things like that. Kissing the cheeks, breathing in the fragrance of the woman between her legs, which is an
Mm.
aphrodisiac, and kissing up the spine, and just it's a lot. But it's worshiping. Is I call it goddess worship. It has a couple of nicknames, but it's worshiping a woman's physical form as a goddess with my hands and my tongue and my lips. It's the art of sensuality. It's foreplay, um, and it stems from my biggest fetish is a woman's pleasure. The more pleasure I cause my woman, the more I'm turned on. So my sub fetishes are the ways I cause that pleasure, the different things that I do, and ass worship is one of them. So that's something that I greatly enjoy because prime example, like I've caused orgasms with my hands with with no penetration and no clitoral stimulation, just the energy, and the
Okay.
transfer and the rhythm and so
Okay. So no auto erotic asphyxiation or anything like that, right?
what do you mean as far as
Choke a bitch. You know what I
if
mean?
she want to be choked? Yeah, I'll choke her.
You I'm just
If
saying.
I look, I played receiver in college in college. I got big hands, so if a
Yeah,
woman
that's
likes to be choked,
that's
and I love grabbing necks and French kissing too. So that is one of my
auto
things.
asphyxiation.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to know if it played a part, and your thing. But another thing I
Yes,
want to ask you. So you finally found somebody to match your energy, right?
sure did.
Good. That's
Yep,
cool.
and she loves
That's
when I grab her neck and kiss her.
Oh, uh,
well. I seen
I'm
pictures. She's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a natural beauty, and that's something that I've always been attracted to. I've always had an attraction to women with locks, but I've never dated a woman with locks. And when I met her, I'm just like, man, she's like everything. Okay, let's do it. And it was like it was effortless with her. The way we fell in
yeah.
love, the way the how we spent our time together. In those first few weeks until to when I asked her to be my woman on Cinco de Mayo, like everything was just right and perfect. And even now, we've been living together for a couple months now, a few months now.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, she completely moved in, and we're moving into a bigger place in November. Because I had already outgrown my townhouse with everything I do. Um,
Right.
but now that there's her, we need even more space. So yeah, we're gonna get a bigger place. Actually, we just went to Detroit this past weekend, and she met my daughter. Um,
Oh no.
yeah, she had
How
already met my mother, and then I'm taking her to St. Thomas for the holiday to meet my father.
Oh, that's sweet. That's
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
not because
Happy
I'm not gonna
ending.
lie.
All
I'm not
Hmm?
gonna lie. Watching you on the show, I was not a huge fan of yours. I was
Say it one more
not.
time.
I said watching you on the show, I wasn't a huge fan of yours.
Okay.
But now that you're saying that the producers, because one thing that kept offing me a lot was every single episode I saw you, you were like, I'm a dome. I'm a dome. I was like, I was tired of hearing the I'm a dome because the first thing that came to my head was, yes, we know you're a dome. But I know that when you see people that are domes, they really don't always want to say it every time. So every time I saw you in the episode, I think almost every episode you appeared, you said it. And I was like,
Well,
at this
listen.
stage,
How do you think I felt? I got tired of hearing it too. But they edited it that way. I mean, again, all the women had curiosities. They all had their own questions about what I do. So that's what they showed.
yeah.
They didn't show me talking about my family. They didn't show me talking about the fact that I want to be married in the next couple of years. They didn't show me talking about the fact that I want more children. They didn't show any of that. So
Mm,
again, when they chose to take that's the narrative they chose for me. You know what I'm saying? They chose
yeah.
my narrative, and they chose who I was going to be. My connection was, which was unique. The Lee's connection that they wanted to show was Quentin. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Lee and I had, like I said, we had a lot of conversations, late conversations. You know, great. It was great conversations, but that wasn't the connection that they wanted to show from me. So trust me, I totally understand. I'm like, especially after you spend 12 hours having conversations and that's all they show. I was irritated after the first episode. I'm like, I talked about so much more than that. Like, geez, like, and then like I said, as it continued, it got repetitive. I'm like, okay, I understand. I had to answer a lot of questions about it, but I mean, show something else. I mean, there's so much more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so trust me, I
Same.
totally agree with you, and I understand where you're coming from because I got tired of hearing it too.
Yeah, but I think I changed my mind after I literally sought you out on Instagram, and I was like, because when we always talk about it in the panel, and when I join other panel and we talk about the show, you know, we people be like they kind of understand where you're coming from. And
Hmm.
when I went to your Instagram, I kind of understood, but I was just like, there's something like about hearing something over and over and over again. And it just been like, okay, I think I'm tired of hearing
Yeah, it's being a
this.
dead horse, and I'm like, man, I only get so many episodes. Like, can y'all show something else about me? Like,
Yeah, but have you guys shot the reunion?
yeah, we shot that June 9th.
Oh,
Wow, that's long ago.
Yeah,
Wow, wow, that's
yep,
that's mad. I thought the reunion is always happens after um the season is over, then they
yeah,
shoot it.
yeah. Filming was over. The season of the filming of the season was over, but like I said, we shot the reunion like soon. That was like maybe 2 weeks after the season ended. The filming wrapped on the season.
That was fast.
Yeah, yeah, they got it done, and I'm glad too because, like I said, we all were ready to get our lives back.
yeah. So you don't hang out with none of the guys on the show?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, me and Christopher, the guys. We have a pod show called the Gentleman's Lounge. But
Yeah.
I had an erotica expo last weekend, and Red, Herb, Phil, and Chris came.
Okay. How did
Yep,
that
and
go?
I've been to Red had a WNBA game. He's the MC for the Dallas team. I went to a basketball game. He had a pool party. He DJ'd a pool party. We went to that. Chris had he did a club appearance, and I went and hung out with him. We hung out at his crib. We shot shooting bow and arrows and stuff. So yeah, the guys like we get along, man. And it's a great
What
group of
about the
guys.
ladies?
The ladies, yeah, Kat, T, Aries, Unique, and Kira and Tequila. We all hung out at Chris's house a couple weeks ago when and watched the premiere. We've been out to dinner. Like I said, Tequila came to a show I performed at a few weeks ago when I read one of my stories. So it's like we all support each other for the most part. There's some that we don't really mess with, but for the most part,
Yeah.
there's a core group of the cast that
Oh yeah.
we're all tight.
Oh
That's
yeah.
cool. You were able to find some good friendships throughout the show. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, they're great people, and I love what they do in their personal lives as far as their businesses and their passions. Like Tequila is really, really big on mental health and helping people, and spreading information about the importance of mental health. And I love her passion for that. You know what I'm saying? And Kira, she just has a zest for life that you just automatically love. You know what I'm saying? And an energy and a passion about herself, and she's just who she is. She's her, unapologetically, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? So being around people like that, it kind of validates me being that kind of person myself. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to be this because the people that are around me are that way too.
Right.
Well,
Mhm.
So
how
what
has
was
life been after the show?
It's been interesting. I get stopped a lot. People recognize me a lot from the show. I went to actually a BDSM event in Shreveport, Louisiana, a few weeks ago, and me and my girlfriend. And after the event, the Saturday night, we went to a what do you call it, Waffle House, 2 a.m.
Mm.
in Shreveport, middle of nowhere, right? So we're sitting there eating, and a guy that's sitting at the bar, he was like, "Hey, are you all ready to love?" And I'm like, this is in the middle of nowhere in Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm like, yeah, man. And then on the way home, a lady stopped me at the while we were getting gas. Um, somebody, yelled out something. The escalators I went to Detroit this weekend. We flew through Houston first. Going through Houston on one of the escalators, about to going to our next gate, a lady yelled out, "Hey, are you on Ready to Love?" And she found me later in one of the groups, fan groups, and messaged me and said, "Hey," and commented and say, "Hey, I saw you at the airport at Houston." I was like, "Oh, okay." So those things and getting people taking pictures with me in Walmart and grocery shopping. I'm in shorts and t-shirt, just chilling. It's different, but it's not something that I'm too unaccustomed to. I played college football at University of Cincinnati, so we were used to being, on public and signing autographs for kids and things like that. And even now, a group of my college teammates, we have a youth organization. It's called the Taiwan Hagler Foundation, and every year we have a camp where it's a youth football and cheer camp. So we're, I'm the MC of the camp, so I'm on the microphone all day. So after the camp, we're signing autographs and taking pictures with kids and stuff like that. So things like that I'm kind of used to, but kind of it's different with this because it's because of TV and reality TV. So the reason is different, but it's taking a little bit of adjusting, getting used to, but I take it in stride.
And so,
I thought you
let's,
wanted to ask a question. I thought you
pardon
wanted to
me?
ask a question.
Mm.
I thought you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, I wanted to find out, like when you're taping your scenes and your BDSM
Hmm.
scenes, what goes through your head?
Um, the how the woman is responding to what I'm doing. If it's like, for example, if it's my submissive, then I know everything she likes. I know the pressure she can handle. I know the intensity of the impact that she can handle that she likes. So I take her there. You know what I'm saying? But what if it's someone new? Of course, I ask questions about impact intensity levels. What can you handle? Light impact, medium,
Yeah.
or intense.
So,
But for me, I'm just thinking about causing that woman the most amount of pleasure that she can experience with me, because
okay, so
I
like
want to set
with
her
your
bar higher.
girlfriend, yeah, like
Pardon
with
me?
your girlfriend now, doesn't she like get upset when you know, or is she down
No,
for
she
all
she
that?
she watches and she films for me when we do film.
Okay,
Oh. Oh wow.
okay.
That's a
Like
different.
I say, it's a different world. And I found somebody, like you said, you found somebody that matches my energy. And
Yeah.
and sometimes, I'll sing with her as well. And I actually have a couple videos on my page with her when I was doing my finger flogger Florentine.
Yeah, I
With
did see
Yeah,
that.
that was her.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. So what do you have like coming up, and how do people like find out how to get tickets or come to your events? Like,
Well, we have Herogasm is my next event, October 13th. It's my birthday party. My birthday actually is October 13th, so it's crazy how it worked out because my show is always on a Friday. So my birthday happened to be on a Friday this year also. So it's gonna be a fun night. And the tickets will be available probably about a month ahead, mid September, on my website boaerotica.com. And then my girlfriend and I have a podcast show coming out this in September called Love and Lifestyles, where we'll be talking about love, relationships, lifestyle issues and situations, and educating people on the world of LS, kink, and BDSM. Because what we want to do is we want to help couples spice up their love lives. If it'll help, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that come to us, and a lot of people that I talk to at my other events, or other people's events that I go to, and they want questions on what can I do in the bedroom, and I taught a doctor how to be more sensual because he was so heavy-handed. He didn't have the sensual touch, and I gave him lessons in sensual touch. So he could please his woman better. So things like that. Is what we're going to talk about and help people with on the show, along with having people from our community come and talk further to educate, because there's things in BDSM that I don't know yet. Like I haven't learned how to do wax play or electro play or fire play yet, and those are things that I want to learn. So, but people who are experienced in those areas of BDSM, they're going to come on and talk about their crafts and things like that. So it'll be really, really educational for people who are interested in learning about that world. Then also, like I said, with HeroGasm, and then just the podcast. But Boa.erotica, that's BOA, Boa like the snake, is body of Adonis, short for Boa.erotica on Instagram and YouTube, and then boaerotica.com is where everyone can find me. And then the episodes will be posted on the YouTube channel. Yeah.
You have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Pardon me.
I say you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's my second one because my first one got shut down after I posted one of my BDSM scenes, and I'm like, come on, YouTube,
Oh,
I've seen worse, But I'm like, all right, I get it. So I don't post my BDSM scenes on my YouTube channel anymore. Those are on my Instagram. And I was people joking, talking about starting the OnlyFans, but I was actually thinking about starting the OnlyFans for my BDSM content because it is a little bit more intense.
yeah,
Um,
it's more acceptable there
yeah,
than
exactly. And then
YouTube.
I'm on FetLife. There's a few different sites for it. But yeah, there's a lot that I that that I have to hold back, for Instagram. But if you come to the actual event, like my last show was called the Dirty Show. It was an erotica expo, erotic art. We had a burlesque performer. We had live body painting. All those videos are on the Boa Experience Instagram, and my and some of them are on the Boa Erotica, Boa.erotica Instagram. But if you go to the Boa.erotica Instagram, you can get to my event page. It's called the Boa Experience. Um, Everything's spelled normal, but that page I put a lot more pictures and videos from my erotica expo. But it was a 2-day event. It was a great time. We had a huge turnout both nights. So my partner, Aman Simone, she's the curator of Artgasmic. We're gonna do a dirty show again next year, at a bigger venue, and because it'll definitely grow, because there are people that flew in from out of town, and we think the next one will be, even
Okay.
bigger, a bigger event, because it's Black erotica. It's something that we're giving people who, I mean, there were so many people that walked up to me during the show that were like, man, we've been looking for something like this for so long, but no one does it. I wanted to give people a safe place to come experience those things, without fear of judgment, trolling, and people being ignorant and negative towards what they like, because that causes a lot of suppression enough as it is. Everybody has something to say about other people. So I created an environment where people can feel safe to like what they like, and love what they're
Yeah.
into in that world. And we're working on bringing it to different cities and going on a tour, um, also. So it'll be, it'll continue to grow from here.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
nice. But I wanted to ask, is there anything you can hint us on the reunion? Are we gonna be expecting the unexpected for the reunion? Like,
Oh
would
man,
things happen at the reunion?
yeah. I, when it comes to the reunion, all I can say is just stay strapped in, man, because it'll definitely be entertaining.
Because I know the reunions are always where everything comes out,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
everybody's exposed.
It was a lot. It was a lot that came out. It was a lot that happened. With some of my castmates, I was chill. I mean, because you have to understand, like, the show. I had been done with the show for weeks by the time we filmed the reunion, so I had already been in my relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we filmed it June 9th. My relationship, I've made it official, May 5th. You know what I'm saying? So for almost a month, I had been living in this relationship. So by the time I got on the show, on the reunion, that's what I talked about. But like I said, my castmates and the things that happen at the reunion, you guys will have to, stay tuned for that.
Wow. I can't
Yes,
Oh
wait.
it's
wow.
yes, it's I'm gonna watch it too, but I'm gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, it was some things that happened at the reunion. People, you're definitely not gonna be disappointed. I can tell you that.
Mm.
Mm, I can't wait for that. Anyways, thank you very much for joining us, Marvin. I know it's great. We'll also be getting you back after the reunion. Then you'll be joining us with your girlfriend as after the reunion. We'll also be interviewing him. So thank you guys for joining us on
Yeah,
today's interview. Don't
yeah,
forget to
she'll.
go to his Instagram account. What did you
Mhm.
call your Instagram account again?
Boa.erotica. BOA. B as in boy, O as in ocean, A as in apple, dot erotica.
Okay. Make sure you go to his Instagram and give him a follow. And don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Um, you said you had a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, it's the same thing. Boa.erotica.
Okay. Also, the same thing for his YouTube channel, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and comment on our videos, and don't forget to like click on the subscribe button, guys. Give us a subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for joining us.
No
Have a
problem. Thank you for
nice
having me.
day.
All right, wish you
Yeah.
luck.
Thank you.
Hmm.